Hi everyone and welcome to a new episode of the Yarnflakes Podcast. My name is Audrey and this is a nitty yarny podcast from the southwest of France. Hi and thank you so much for joining me this week. I hope you are all doing well. I might have a little bit of a speedy episode this week. One, because I don't have that much things to show you. I've been working on my next project focus video, which I cannot share with you on the podcast, so it's been taking a little bit of knitting time out of my hands. And I also, I'm running late, but I still wanted to film this week because there probably won't be an episode next week. Might have to skip that week, and I didn't want to leave you with 2 weeks without nothing. I have, knitting to share with you and also spinning. Yes. No, my spinning wheel didn't arrive. I'll talk about that. But yeah, and at the end I also want to talk a little bit about knitting fast and the amount of things that I share on this podcast. And yeah, I want to have a chat around that because it's been going on in my head for a little bit. I've seen Grace from Babel's Traveling Line Yarns. Jesus, why do you have to pick such a name, Grace, really? Just kidding, it's a really nice name. Babel's Traveling Yarn Podcast. Anyway, she mentioned this topic, and yeah, it just added onto what I've been thinking from your comments, and I just want to clarify some stuff around this. So this will be at the end of the episode. You will find timestamps to all the different sections of the podcast in the description down below, so if you want to skip anything, feel free to do so. There will also be links to everything that I talk about, my social media, my patterns for sale on Ravelry. Thank you so much for all the love you gave to my newest sock pattern, the Little People socks. It's really nice that you guys like it so much, and yeah, thank you. I think we can start. It's a beautiful sunny day today, and yes, the light is going to be perfect. Let's start with the big one. My Tecumseh sweater, which is the latest pattern by the lovely and amazing Caitlin Hunter, and I finished the body. This pattern knits up so fast. I guess it's a combination of the fact that I'm knitting it at a loose gauge because I am using fingering weight instead of DK, and I've noticed it with any sweaters that had like a looser gauge. It just feels smoother maybe, so it just zooms by. Plus on this one you obviously have these colorwork panels, so to say, and it just keeps you so motivated because you barely finish with the neckline that you feel like, okay, I'm just going to do the first one. Then you have, I think it's like 16 rows between, so that's fast. Even though you have many stitches, it's just knit. And then the longest bit is obviously this one where you have the most stitches, but then again it's the colorwork keeps you really motivated. Once you split for the body, again it's only like a few rows, then you're there and you're done. I even did quite a long rib for me. If you've watched the previous episode, you know I don't like doing ribbing, and yeah, it must be just a little, maybe I did get 5 centimeters, but yeah, that's very long for me. That's a very long hem. But yeah, I just knit it until I thought it looked good and in harmony with the general size of the sweater, and I love it. Oh my god, I can't wait. It looks better now. Maybe I'm used to it, since I have such a loose gauge. It's colorwork and there's really dramatic increases around the yoke. Well, obviously the fabric isn't the neatest, and so I was a bit bummed about it and really afraid that it won't completely get solved in blocking, but now that I look at it, I guess I'm used to it. It does look better on the screen though than in real life. As if I look at it like that, it's a bit horrendous. But I do believe blocking will fix everything. The yarns I'm using will also contribute to that because it's superwash merino. This is a simple undyed 75-25 that I get to dye. This is Heartland by Wool and Boone, the little crosses, which is also, I think it's our Boone Classic base, so it's 100% merino, this one. And this is Malabrigo sock in the Pocion colorway. So again, superwash merino nylon, so I really like the look of it, and I can't wait. So, like I said last time, the yoke is quite deep, so the sleeves are actually going to go super fast. And I don't think I've talked about it, but have decided to use more small circulars. Did I talk about it on the latest podcast? You know, I'm doing these colorwork mittens that I will show you. And yeah, the thing with small circulars is that I was only using them to do vanilla socks, which was a bit boring, and I was a bit stressed on them. And yeah, I'm happy that I decided to give them a better shot because I love them for the mittens and I love them for sleeves. I'm using them for sleeves right now for another sweater, and I will use them for those sleeves because the color work is just going to look much more beautiful than if I were to do magic loop. And look at that armhole. It's massive. But yeah, I also noticed that I'm pretty fast with those small circulars, so this is just it. Yeah, it's going to be done in no time. And since, like I said, there might not be an episode next week, definitely this will be done next time you see me. And I cannot wait because it's going to be really nice for our springtime. Talking about mittens, I have done some progress on those Latvian mittens that I was doing. So on the short circulars, and this is where I am. It goes really fast. It's just that, yeah, I really need to keep an eye on the chart, obviously. So yeah, I'm not using it, knitting on it as much as some less brain intensive. It's not brain intensive, but it's color work, you know, so you have to pay attention. But yeah, it's still got up quite a bit. I finished the sort of the cuff motif here, and I started the main motif of the mitten. You can see it started like this. Just gonna be a star in the middle, and on the palm it will look like this. This is working lovely. On the short circulars, it's just, I do have to only knit with my right hand and to drop every color that I'm not using, obviously, and pick it up when I need it, because I can't work the two-handed with the small circulars. But it's not bothering me, actually. I'm going fast enough, much faster than if I try to struggle, hold this and be like trying to adjust continental knitting and holding these teeny, because the needles are just this. The needles stop here. That's really small. I believe these are Addies. Let me check. Yeah, these are Addies, 25 centimeters. So it's a bit over 9 inch. Is it 9 inch and a half? It's not like the Hayas, which are 9 inch. I think it's a little bit bigger than that, but still it's pretty small. But it'll do the job for colorwork socks, colorwork mittens, sleeves. It's perfect. I know people tend to use 30 centimeters circulars for sleeves, but I wouldn't be able to use them until the cuff, and I would only use them for sleeves because 30 centimeters will be too big for these, I feel. And so yeah, I got mostly 25 or under, 23 or 25 centimeters, just so that I can get more use out of them, and I'm really happy that I did. So this is a pattern from Obi Wool, Knit Like a Latvian. with this they're selling kits for their mittens and also the patterns. Last time I checked though, this pattern, which is number 8, grey number 8, I think it was, because it's supposed to be a black and white one, wasn't in the Etsy shop on its own, but there was the kit. So I linked to the kit, and their yarn is has a really good reputation. They do sell the yarn individually too now. I've seen they sell it in 25 grams skeins, which makes it super affordable. But yeah, I'll still link it down below. And I really like it. I can't wait. Yeah, been quite slow on it. And I gotta make a second one. I'm already dreading. I do love the results. Sorry. I do love the results of the Latvian braid, but yeah, I know it took me quite a while, so doing it again for the other hand. I'm almost to the thumb, by the way, which is the tricky part of the pattern because the pattern isn't really well translated or written. So yeah, I'll try to figure that out and come back at you with it. But yeah, I am using drops Flora in ice blue and black. And the last thing I've been working on is my next design. It's a shawl, it's the Méliès shawl, and I've been working on it a lot yesterday. So I'm going to give it a break because it's just a bit too much of it yesterday. And this is where I am so far. So it's going to be a rectangular wrap, and down you go, ball of yarn. A rectangular wrap that starts with the point and has these texture sections. And now I'm back at some squishy simple garter until I get into some sort of lace. So yeah, I've been adding a few bits and pieces. You can see stripes here, you can see this really fun dotted. This is not color work. It's sort of it's not mosaic either, it's sort of a weaving. It's a really simple thing. I'm sure lots of you know it. And I've incorporated some color work because vertical stripes. And yeah, now some more garter. There is a I-cord edging everywhere, and yes, I cannot wait to block it and see it revealed. And the lacy part is going to be really fun. Catch the ball. I am using Black Elephant in her single space. This is Bittersweet Symphony, and this is a tonal build that she dyed for me, and the lace is going to be exclusively in that because look at this, and it's going to be quite a wide part of the shawl, so I envision it to be a nice light on the smaller size, even though I will use both full skeins. And yeah, like nice spring shawl with color work and texture. I don't know when I'll be finished with that. The pattern is written already because the way I work, and I've noticed this about me and I find it quite interesting, I like to write the pattern first, figure out all the math and the design elements, and then actually knit the sample, adjust things if necessary, double checking my math and stuff, check if it works. Yeah, I find that I work better making an abstract thing first and imagining things and figuring out how it will work in my mind. If I have a doubt about something, I will make a swatch. But yeah, I usually have the pattern set up and then I knit the sample to check. And I know some people do it both at the same time, they figure out the pattern as they knit the sample. I guess I'm more of a abstract conceptualizing mind. I don't have the English words for this anymore. I used to, but now my vocabulary in English is basically food and knitting. we have to do with that. Yeah, the Méliès show. So yeah, the pattern is written. So basically, I need to finish that sample. So I am not sure. I would like to publish it in May, at the beginning of May. I'm not so sure that I'll be able to do that, but definitely going to be there before the summer hits. And look, that's all I have to show you knitting wise. Yeah, like I said, I've been working on the test knit that I showed you last week, those socks from Hannah Lisa, half a comp, and I have also been working on that paints that I keep talking about it and teasing you about, and it's going to be meh. But yeah, my next project focused video, which should come hopefully in the near future. I have quite a lot of it to do still, so. But you know, I need to get to certain points to film bits. So sometimes I have to not work on it until I get to film. So that's kind of making it extra long. But it's fine. It's a really enjoyable project, and I hope you will like the video that I'm making for it. But yeah, knitting wise, that's it for this week. My butterflies are not facing upwards again. I'm sorry. I've picked up spinning again. So, you know, I love spinning. I really do. I love my spindles. I think they're beautiful. I like the motion of them. I like drafting on them. I think it's really nice. But they hurt me. I get sore, like, I don't know, is it called golfer's elbow? You know, with it on both my arms. So it's completely ridiculous. Yeah, so I can't use them too much, sadly, as much as I would like to spin. I want a spinning wheel. I really should have gotten one years ago now, because I would use it so much. And you know, I could spin sweater and you have access to more fibers than yarn. What I mean is that I can easily get Corriedale fiber, I can easily get like Falkland Polwarth, all the nice different types of fibers. And well, you know, I'm not finding that much diversity in the yarns themselves. So I just have this idea of spinning myself a sweater quantity of maybe Finnish wool, you know, and take 3 different color of fibers, spin them in sweater quantities, and make a color work sweater out of it. And so I've decided 2 years ago that I want a Krumsky, the Fantasia Krumsky, because yeah, it's the most affordable one, and it has really nice features for to begin learning with to spin on the spinning wheel. And I like the features it has. I sort of like its look. I got used to it. I like it. And yeah, the 2 pedals, I know I need the 2 pedals for my back and knees and stuff. And so yeah, I want the Krumsky Fantasia, but it's still, even if it's the most affordable one, it's still quite an investment, obviously, compared to the one that costs 1,000 or 2,000 euros. It's nothing, but it's still something, and I just haven't bit the bullet yet. I'm not being able to right now financially. So if you remember, back in December, I think I talked to you about it. The electric eel wheel, which is an electrical spinning wheel brand set up by Maurice Ripple, who has been making Kickstarters for his wheel. Basically, his idea is to make the most affordable and friendly for spinners electric spinning wheels. I don't necessarily want an electric spinning wheel, but you know, I saw that he was making it in December a mini version of these wheels on Kickstarter, and it was really affordable. And I thought, okay, I can't get my Kromsky right now, but maybe I can get this and get started spinning like I want, in the quantity that I want, until I can get a pretty traditional wheel. So I backed the Kickstarter back in December to get that mini eel wheel, and it's been shipped mid-March, and I don't know where it is. I never had any package lost. Never. I've ordered stuff from everywhere around the world. Back at some years ago, I was really into cosmetics and really qualitative Asian brands and cosmetics. So I was getting a lot of package from Taiwan, Hong Kong, Korea. I obviously bought a few things from the US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, quite a lot of yarn from there. Never had anything lost, everything got to me without an issue. I had customs a few times. Customs in France are not as nasty as the UK ones. Most of the packages get through them. So if it was in the customs, it would say that it entered the import transit hub in Paris, and it doesn't. So I don't know where it is. So I'm annoyed because I'm not having my eel wheel mini. Yeah, I'm a bit bummed about it. I'm annoyed. So I've decided that after I sort out a few things, I'm going to get my Kromsky wheel, because screw that. I'm annoyed. I want a spinning wheel. I'm going to get it. But in the meantime, I picked up a spindle again, because I really wanted to spin, and I think it had kind of slowed me in my other crafts, because whatever I'm doing, I'm always like, I wish I was spinning. It's getting really ridiculous, so I picked up my spindle. This is a beautiful Turkish spindle. It's my favorite spindle. It's so pretty. And you probably don't remember this. I started spinning this, yeah, I think it's a year ago now. It's a merino top that is variegated in shades of like really fire orange and yellow, reddish thing. It's a Roving from DHG, which is an Italian company that sells a lot of dyed rovings. And back last year, before I really noticed that spinning on a spindle was hurting me, I had spun half of it in a single. It's that little ball here. It looks so cute. And yeah, I've decided that even if it takes me another year, I'm going to spin the rest of it, and then I'm going to ply it together. And maybe that I've started doing this, now that wheel is going to come. Isn't it when you complain about something that it gets sorted out? It often is the case for me. So I'm complaining. Please. I'm complaining. Can you please come now? Anyway, yeah, Turkish spindle. I'm doing that sort of wrapping around it. That's really cute. And I'm amazed that I'm still able to spin. Well, I don't know if you can lose. Maybe it's like bike. Even though you do lose your biking balance, that's a complete lie, because I learned how to bike when I was a child. Then I didn't have a bike for years, and when I got on a bike again when I was 20 years old, I was like, that's a complete lie. I don't know how to do this anymore. But apparently, drafting even-ish thin yarn, you don't lose that. So I'm quite happy about that. I've been doing a little bit of it last night, and yeah, just slowly going to do this, waiting desperately for the mailman. So there's something I want to address for the end of the episode, and it's the fact that I knit a lot and I knit fast. Well, I don't knit really fast, but I'll explain that to you in a bit. Yeah, about the amount of things that I get done. Like I said, Grace from Babel's Traveling Podcast has talked about it, and how, yeah, I get that some people might feel bad looking at podcasters and people on social media banging out so many things, and yeah, you guys leave me a lot of comments saying that you're impressed at how many things I get done in a week. It's not that much. Look, like I barely had 25 minutes to talk about this week. That's a lie, because that's not, as I can't show you most of the things I've been working on. So anyway, I do take these comments as compliments, and I thank you very much. But I hope none of you is feeling bad because of the impression that I give, that I knit really fast and that I get a lot of things done in a really short amount of time. You know, I would hate for someone to watch my podcast and feel like they're not up to the knitting thing because they're not doing as many things. They're not doing sweaters yet. This seems too complicated, although I'm not doing complicated stuff. I assure you, it's just practice. Or yeah, that you get a shawl done in 3-4 months. And I don't want you to feel bad because I'm like shoving in your face, look, I finished a sweater, and 2 weeks later, look, I finished another sweater. I would hate for someone to feel that way. You know, making isn't a competition. We all work differently. Many of my favorite podcasters and things focus more on the process, and yeah, they publish less videos, and they seem to be in a really more gentle, slow vibe, and I love it. These are some of my favorite podcasters. I'm thinking about Nicole from the Gentle Knitter, Eva from the Charm of It, Katie Green from the Green Bean Podcast. Who else has that type of mood? Anna from The Grown, Lirge from Fiber Tales. You know, all these people that seem to have a really Scandinavian vibe. I don't think any, besides Lurker, I don't think any of them is Scandinavian, but they all look very hygge, don't they? And I love that, and I'm like this with learning things as well. I like to take my times sometime, and just it's more about the process. But mostly, I am very distracted. I can get bored quite easily, and I do feel the need to be challenged and engaged constantly in my projects. You know, that's how I am, and that's why I love knitting, because it is so deep and intense, and you can do so many different things and learn so much. So the result is that no matter what I'm making, at some point I'm going to feel like it's a bit repetitive, like it's more common, like I got over it, so to say. And I end up doing a cable sweater watching Netflix, you know? That's just, yeah, once I've passed the learning bit of a new pattern or a new technique, I'm just feeling like, okay, this exciting bit is done. And I'm still enjoying it once I'm past this. If not, I would just not finish anything, and I would have a gazillion things started, and once I've done the first repeats of the thing, I would be like, okay, done, and I wouldn't finish the project. So I do still enjoy the process of knitting as a longer thing that is not always requiring so much focus from my part, but yeah, it's the way that I am. And that means I have a tendency to want to get things done, which is why I don't have any UFOs, I don't have long-lasting whips. So that being constantly distracted is partly the reason why I guess I make so much fast, and it's neither a good or a bad thing. I do wish sometimes that I would spend more time in the slower learning process, because I find it really enjoyable. And the fact that I get over things and get bored so easily, it has caused me several issues in various areas of my life, but you don't need to hear about that. It's not a thing to envy. That's just how I am, and yeah, I think it does have a little bit of a consequence on my making. The main thing, though, the main reason why I get so much things done, and this is what I want all of you to remember, is that I have a lot of time. I stay at home, I don't have children to take care of. I am in no way a maker that you need to be impressed with. I'm not fast, I'm not better, I just have time. That point in my life, I can dedicate a lot of time to it, and yeah, it shows. I am very lucky about it, and it fits my personality, and that's why I am able to do so many things. But that doesn't give me any quality as a maker to be finishing things relatively fast. So I hope I managed to get my thoughts through. I thought it was important to address the issue as comparing yourself to other people in the social media and the making community is definitely a problem. And yeah, like I said at the start, I don't want anyone to feel bad because I'm showing too many things. If I just like to work on a lot of different things, and I happen to have the capacity to finish them pretty fast, and so that's what I'm showing you. And if you're impressed at that speed, I am impressed at your patience and how you're able to enjoy the process, and that's so valuable. And yeah, I just don't think the amount of things that I do is in itself a quality factor. Has nothing to do with it. You can make a lot of great things, you can make a lot of medium things, you can make a few amazing things. You see, it's two different things. How many stuff you do, how fast you do it, and how good they are. Yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. And yeah, do tell me in the comments how you feel about that. And yeah, I do hope no one has been put off by my 2 sweaters a month. Yeah, and I just wanted you guys to know that if I get a lot of things done, it's because I have the time to do so. So that's it for this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching. Like I said, I do not think that I will be able to record next week. If I can, it will be there, but that means that I get more time to do even more stuff, so that next episode is 2 hours long, and it's like, look, I finished 2 sweaters. But yeah, have a lovely week or couple of weeks, and I will see you next time. Bye.